The last thing that's a Christian's duty to our rulers is you are called to submit to your rulers. You are called to submit to your rulers. And this might be the hardest one of the bunch for a lot of people here. Romans 13, 1 through 5 says, "Everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authority comes from God, and those in positions of authority have been placed there by God. So anyone who rebels against authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and they will be punished. For the authorities do not strike fear in people who are doing right, but in those who are doing wrong. Would you like to live without fear of the authorities? Do what is right, and they will honor you. The authorities are God's servants sent for your good. But if you are doing wrong, of course you should be afraid, for they have the power to punish you. They are God's servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. So you must submit to them, not only to avoid punishment, but also to keep a clear conscience." You see, Paul is writing this letter of Romans to the church in Rome. And I don't know if you know your history all that well, but the Roman government was not always very friendly with Christians. In fact, throughout its history, it was more unfriendly than it was friendly. And I know that a lot of times we talk about how we serve, there's an evil in the government, and that we have a government that despises us and do all these things. But I'm here to tell you that it pales in comparison to what the Roman government would do consistently to Christians. In fact, there was actually, most scholars believe that this section of Romans was written specifically to those Christian Jews that had moved back to Rome after they had just gotten kicked out of Rome for inciting a riot and doing these things because they didn't agree with the way that the current Roman emperor was doing things. And so he had all of the Christians and the Jews removed from Rome so that way the emperor didn't have to deal with them. And Paul encourages them to do what is right, to live correctly, not only to avoid punishment, but to keep a clear conscience. See, your response to authority is what is really going on in your heart. And if you can't sit underneath authority of somebody who is a president, somebody who is the ruler, then how do you expect yourself to sit underneath authority of God? The way that you listen to authority speaks a lot about that.